Hello, and welcome to the Ripple Podcast.
The podcast where we tell you all kinds of strange and unusual stories.
And the ripples they create.
AKA the story after the story.
I'm Rosa.
And I'm Angela.
And this is the Ripple Podcast.
Get Ripple, the bright new drink with that ring-a-ding flavor, Ripple.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, we're going.
We're going.
Okay, we're going. So?
This is episode 20.
That's crazy.
Can you stand it?
Hopefully the sound quality on this one is slightly better than the last 19.
We're getting better.
It's evolving, yeah.
We're
it's getting better.
Working on it. We are not professionals.
We recorded our very first book club episode,
which was super fun.
Which I talked over you the whole time.
I'm used to it.
I'm going to try not to.
Yeah, right.
I am.
How was your week? I feel like I didn't see you very much this week.
Oh. It was pretty normal. Pretty normal week. I didn't prepare anything to tell you about for this week.
That's okay. You don't have to.
How was your week?
Pretty much the same as the last bunch. We planted a garden and it's growing, so that's like my exciting news.
That's really exciting.
Isn't it? It's fun. We have beans and corn growing like a
real farmer.
Like a real farmer.
I have a big swollen staff in front of my house.
Do you know when that staff is going to release its pollen?
I don't know, but I do have this beautiful agave plant, and I've been taking pictures of it every single day
to watch
and it's
how
getting bigger and bigger. And it's just engorging. And any day now, it's just going to pop open.
And release.
It's really beautiful, though.
It's huge.
It is. It's like taller than my house now. And it just started doing that like 5 days ago.
Does it have pups? Are there pups?
Yeah.
Because what happens usually is you probably know this, but once the agave blooms, that mother agave dies.
Yeah.
And then all the pups come out.
Mm-hmm.
The more you know.
And this has been an episode of
Botany 101
with Rosa and Angela, where we make shit up.
Act like we know stuff.
All right.
All right. So should we just get right into it?
Yeah. Unless you want to share any other fun adventures from your week.
I had planned on telling you stuff, but I don't remember.
Yeah. And we talked for a long time, and we're starting late tonight. Because we were chit-chatting for so long.
And we had dinner, and I'm so ridiculously full. It's not even funny.
Yeah, me too. It's delicious, though.
Yeah. Shout out to Flight 126.
Yep.
Delivery. Not delivery.
Pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yummy. Okay, so this week we are talking about cults. And I'm first?
I'm first.
Ah, damn it. Okay.
Yep, I'm first.
Okay, you get to go first.
Real quick, if you were to start a cult,
yeah,
what would you worship? What would you wear and what would you eat?
Okay.
I'm putting you on the spot because we didn't prep this.
Not at all.
But I asked you this a long time ago, so maybe you have some answers.
I would worship the ocean.
Okay. That's a good one. I like that.
What's the next question?
Eat and where?
We would eat, if we're worshiping the ocean, we're probably eating lots of raw fish.
Ew.
So sushi.
Oh, okay. When you call it sushi, it sounds a lot better than just eating raw fish.
We'd eat a lot of sushi. And I like sushi. Sushi's delish. And we would wear nothing. I'd be all about the nakedness.
All right. I kind of thought you would say that.
Yeah, I'm a big naked person. I love to be naked.
Person.
I hate clothes. I hate shoes. If I could, when Audrey, my mother-in-law, moved into our backyard, Nick warned her. He's like, make sure that you call us ahead of time before you come up, because Rosa just likes to walk around naked all the time. I'm like, oh my God, you seriously told your mom that? But it's fact.
Yeah, and now you know that Rosa's mother-in-law lives in her backyard.
She does. Not for much longer, though. She's moving pretty soon.
That's true. But you make it sound like she's living in a playhouse, like in your...
No, it's a tent. No, she's got a little little
she has
space.
a setup.
Now you answer.
Oh, okay.
And you had time to prep your answers.
I did, but I actually didn't even prep them. But I'm going to steal the answers that you gave me the first time I asked you this.
Oh,
because you had a really good person you worship answer.
I did?
And you said Dolly Parton.
I do love her.
That's a good one. I like that.
So fantastic. I wish she was my big sister.
Oh, I love Dolly Parton. As far as wearing, I mean, I feel like if you're going to go with Dolly Parton, you have to go with like the Western glam, like all the rhinestones and all of the fringe.
Big hair, big lips, big boobs.
Big eyelashes.
Mm-hmm.
And then eat.
Everything fried.
Fair food.
Hell yeah.
Everything that you could find at a county fair, that's what we eat.
Yeah.
Like it? You want to join my cult?
I might on the weekends.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Okay, cool.
I'm not going to be super strict about that.
I could be like a weekend cult girl.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Because I don't really want to be around you all the time.
No, and I'm going to be naked. Sorry.
Oh. Okay. You can wear some tassels, though. How about that? Put on some tassels.
Dang, I can make those swing to the right, swing to the left, swing in, swing out. Sweet. Okay.
I kind of don't think you're joking either.
Oh, I'm not. Do you want to see a video?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
That'll be for our Patreon level. At the $10 level on our Patreon, you can see Rosa's tassel video.
We can put up a voting thing. A for swing to the right, B left, C in.
All right.
Go for it. Tell me about your cult.
I need a drink first.
I was just going to say, didn't you bring a drink?
I just brought Truly because I still haven't been to the store since this whole quarantine thing. Now that we're actually allowed to be closer than 6 feet from each other, we can actually
enjoy
eat dinner together.
Okay.
Right.
Truly, this is what?
It's
original
the
lemonade
one, which is like the shoot. It's the sweetened version. Cheers.
Cheers. All right, cults.
Okay, so before I tell you my story about this particular cult, I'm going to give you some definitions about what a cult really is, because this cult, like many cults, really doesn't think it's a cult, which seems to be a common trend. I don't know if you found that too.
Absolutely.
But okay. And this is from psychiatrist Robert J. Lifton.
So it's not.
My God, Rosa.
It's in my hand, so I knew what time it was.
Uh-huh.
It's not from Webster's dictionary.
No, because that was too vague. Did you look that up?
I did, but I didn't.
It was like anything.
I didn't include it in my story. So,
all right. So this guy, he taught at Harvard Medical School, so you know he's serious. And he had a paper titled Cult Formation, in which he described 3 primary characteristics, in which I wrote that wrong. Number 1. Okay, a charismatic leader. Okay. Which I feel like we've talked about before.
Which is super true. I agree with that 100%.
And this charismatic leader increasingly becomes the object of worship. So they just kind of get a God complex, it seems like.
Yeah.
And number 2 is a process of indoctrination or education that can be seen as coercive persuasion or thought reform.
Explain that to me.
Brainwashing.
Okay, so their views get pushed on everyone? Is that correct?
I guess so. I mean, I think that's kind of open into interpretation. And there's probably like varying levels of it too.
Okay.
So that a little bit more of that definition, because I was kind of abbreviating, but since you had a question, the culmination of this process can be seen by members of the group often doing things that are not in their own best interest, but consistently in the best interests of the group or its leader.
Okay. What I'm doing when you're saying these, I'm comparing them to my cult. And so far it's checking all the boxes for mine as well.
So when I tell you about my cult, you can tell me whether or not it's a cult.
Okay.
Because it's like, it's open to interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one is economic, sexual, or other how do you say that word?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Exploitation.
There it is.
I had a brain fart, sorry. Of group members by the leader.
So they're exploiting them sexually?
or economically or
Oh.
in other ways.
Okay. Just
Anyway, taking advantage of a group member.
Okay. I 100% agree.
All right.
I'm with you.
All right. Okay. Now, on to my story. So normally I don't cover stories that everyone's already heard about because everybody's already heard about them, and somebody's probably done a way better job than I have at
Probably
explaining
done
things.
a lot more research.
Most definitely, because I wrote this story today. And this is going to be an exception because there is actually a Netflix documentary about this cult. And you've probably seen it or heard about it. It's about a group of people that have very strong beliefs about their unique lifestyles, and they're willing to defend that lifestyle with a stockpile of guns and ammunition.
I'm okay. Keep going. I don't know what it is yet. Ammunition makes me think Texas.
Are you thinking Waco?
I am, but I haven't seen it.
You'd be wrong because I'm talking about Tiger King.
Shut the hell up. I'm so
I was
excited.
really hoping you would guess Waco.
I was.
That's where I was leading you on. Okay. So Tiger King is like 3 weeks ago.
I'm so excited right now because I watched all of this.
Did you watch it again, or you just watched it like when it was super popular? Like
I just watched
ago?
it. Yeah, when we first started.
Okay.
But you know what? I never did watch the
last episode.
Whatever they released, like in a bonus something or other.
Yeah, they had the guy. I forgot his name. The guy from The Soup. Remember that show? The internet show.
Yeah.
He interviewed all of them.
Okay.
Not all of them. He interviewed a lot of the characters, I'm going to call them, that were willing to be interviewed or that could be interviewed because Joe would have been there if he could have been. And it's like, it was all right.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm sure everybody's super sick of hearing about Tiger King. It's like been way overdone, and it's like
Every meme,
but I'm going to tell you not about Joe Exotic, not about Jeff Lowe. I'm going to talk about Doc Antle.
Hell yeah.
And his
Ponytail guy?
the ponytail guy.
Okay.
Yep. So, yeah, like I said, you've probably been overwhelmed.
Total cult.
So you've already decided it's
Done.
Cool. Okay.
I've
okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Uh-huh.
So Doc Antle, his real name is Bhagavan Mahamavi, which I'm sure I'm not pronouncing correctly. And the meaning of that name is God or friend of God, or as his son says, master of the universe.
He-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Master
He-Man.
of the
Is he the master of the universe?
Wait, that's his birth name?
That's his birth name.
I would have never.
So he was born to be a cult leader.
Damn right.
Yeah. All right. So he also went by Kevin, which some people, like, they're kind of saying that's probably his birth name. But no, he actually went by Kevin because his given name was so hard to pronounce. And he grew up in California. Mm-hmm. So he's like, you know what? I'm sick of you trying to pronounce it. I'm just going to go with Kevin. But yeah, that name that I said before that I'm not going to say again because I already butchered it once was actually his given name by his mother. He was born in 1960 in Arizona, and then he was later raised in California on a farm where he developed his passion for animals, and it was influenced by his mother's interest in the Eastern philosophy. So that's where she got the name. It's actually a Hindu name.
Okay. Where in California, do you know?
Salinas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Salinas Valley. I'm assuming a cattle ranch because they said she raised horses and he was into rodeo stuff. So
Salinas, that's where Bill and Ted, they had their great adventure.
Their excellent adventure?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
I always thought that was like in the valley.
Salinas. I'm pretty sure we're the water park.
Oh.
I don't know why that little bit of information. I haven't seen that movie for 15 years. But yeah, now I'll have to look it up.
I don't know why. I always envisioned them in the valley. All right. So, Doc, he drops out of high school. And then he decides to study abroad in China. And that is where he supposedly earned a doctoral degree in Chinese medicine after spending years in the field.
Okay.
So that's why they call him Doc.
Because he has a doctorate?
He says he does. I don't know.
Online?
That's debatable. Cannot be confirmed. But anyway,
Try again.
Anyhow, back in 1982 is when Doc... Yeah, Rosa, I see. It's a spider.
It's a giant daddy
I
long
can't
leg
talk because
walking
you keep
up the
pointing
wall.
out the giant spider in the room. It's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
It's just a little podcast friend. Our one loyal listener.
What's his name? Charlotte.
Charlotte?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, keep going. Sorry. Very distracting.
Okay, so in 1982, Doc was working as a yoga guru. So I imagine like when he was in China, he learned a lot about that sort of stuff because
Sure.
he actually does have a lot of informative
Videos and stuff?
Yeah, stuff about yoga.
Okay.
He's into that.
Sure.
And he happened to be hired to do a presentation for Exxon for their annual
Like the oil
convention.
company?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay.
So I don't know, like an annual conference, maybe they hired somebody to like do a group yoga class or something. I don't know. It was really weird. Very strange connection.
I've gone to conferences before, like 3-day events or whatever, and
they
they've
do
had
something like
yoga
that?
teachers and stuff in the mornings. Yeah.
Right. So I imagine he didn't prep for this very well. So instead, he decides to bring a baby tiger
Oh.
to distract. That's my theory.
His lack of knowledge of yoga.
I don't know. He just brings a baby tiger to the conference. They're like, hey, let's do some yoga. And he's like, hey, here's a baby tiger.
That's not going to relax people. That's going to excite
No,
people.
people loved it.
Sure.
And they lost their mind. And he was taking pictures left and right. Everybody wanted a picture with the baby tiger. It was the talk of Exxon, apparently, because the following year, they ended up using that tiger for their inspiration of their new slogan, put a tiger in your tank. Yeah.
That's a stupid slogan.
Yeah, it really is.
But yeah,
tiger
I mean,
in your tank. What?
and
Huh?
he's going to take full credit for that.
Of course. And I'm sure he made a shit ton of money from that because that is what fueled him to...
Fueled.
Oh, I didn't even plan that. All right. So this success that Doc's proclaimed love for exotic animals is what led to the creation of the Institute for Greatly Endangered and Rare Species,
Okay.
which if you put that together is TIGERS,
Oh, jeez.
tigers.
Okay.
I just imagine him like staying up one night trying to come up with something for each letter.
G letter,
It's like,
a G word, a G word.
Okay.
Greatness, goodness.
Greatly endangered
Yes.
animals. Yeah, it's pretty cheesy. So he refers to this zoo of his as the greatest hands-on animal experience in the world. It's
Wow.
the core business is that they raise these baby animals and they allow people to come and take tours. He has this 50-acre park, and these tours, according to Rolling Stone magazine, cost. You want to guess how much it costs to go spend 3 hours at the park?
Is it like a one-on-one tour or like
No, you're in a group.
$300.
Oh, you're close. You would have won the prices right. It's $339 a person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's offered 3 times a week. And you can also get professional photos starting at $150 a person.
Whoa.
You are not allowed to take any outside photos or videos. So no cell phones, none of that. No selfies, no TikToks, no YouTube, nothing. Everything that's recorded has to be recorded by them.
Did you ever go to the Malibu Winery?
No. Is that the safari one?
Uh-huh.
No. Did you go?
Uh-huh. I went.
I didn't know that.
I went with Amy. I won tickets to go on when she was doing that radio show.
Mm-hmm.
And we went together, and I met that famous giraffe, Stanley, I think his name is.
You met a famous giraffe?
I got to feed him.
Oh.
But they had a bunch of animals there. But we saw zebras. We saw all kinds of super cool animals at the winery. I didn't pay because I won the
you won it?
tickets. But there's no way it was $300. And we got alcohol out of it.
Yeah, it's been on Groupon, so I can't imagine it's like super over the top. I don't know.
I would totally go again. I don't even know if they're around anymore. I know they got a lot of slack after the fires.
Oh, yeah.
That
That wasn't great.
No, but I would go again. It was really fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time. I'd be down.
Field trip.
Field trip. Okay, so Tigers also operated a satellite storefront at the Myrtle Beach Mall that would sell cub photos every summer. And then they also had a smaller facility in Miami that they hosted big cat shows at the Jungle Island Amusement Park.
Okay.
So he's doing all the stuff and things. Like he is definitely like making the most money he could possibly
With
make
all
out of
these
this thing.
tigers.
Absolutely. And with that, he's going to need some help. So Doc provided animals for several music videos, including P. Diddy, Janet Jackson, Ashanti, and in 2001, Doc was booked by Britney Spears to appear with the big hat behind her at the Music Video Awards. What song?
Slave.
Good job.
Where she's holding the albino snake.
The python, which I think was also his snake.
Was it?
And if you look, okay, we'll post this probably as our Instagram photo for this episode. There's a picture of her, and she has like the python over her shoulders, and there's the tiger in the background, and you can like see his creepy face.
No way.
Yeah.
That's super funny. I'll have to, we'll totally have to find that.
The tiger.
When I did rock and roll half marathon, that's the outfit I wore.
Oh, yeah.
And I carried that damn 6-foot snake with me for the entire 13 miles.
Oh, I would have ditched that thing so fast.
I spent like $25 on it. Part of my costume.
Okay. So he also provided animals for Ace Ventura Pet Detective, The War, The Jungle Book, Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, Wild America, Mighty Joe Young, The Jungle Book 2, and Notorious Betty Page.
I don't know that one.
Neither do I.
I knew
but
all the
it
others.
sounds interesting. All right. So in order to sustain his operation, Doc would breed 2 litters a year, which would typically yield 10 to 15 new cubs every season.
That doesn't seem extreme to me. I would have guessed a lot more than that.
I would have guessed a lot more, but we're going to revisit that later on in the discussion.
Okay, because you know how I feel, and I know you feel the same way about overpopulation of animals and overbreeding and stuff.
But his whole philosophy is that he's preserving the genetics, and if these endangered animals ever do become to the point where they need to have like supplemental tigers put back into the wild, he believes that he could do that. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So now on to the culty stuff.
Got it.
Here we go. So Netflix refers to the episode that introduces Doc as cult of personality. So they aren't being very subtle when they try to portray his character. And he is definitely like, they just, as soon as you see him, you're like, okay, wait, why are you dancing?
I'm singing that song. Cult of personality.
Oh, that's a song?
Did I make that? No, that's a song. Cult of personality. That's all I can think of. Cult of personality.
I didn't know that was a song, but that sounds like it's a song, maybe.
If it's not, I'm
You have
copyrighting
a lot
it.
of random facts in your brain.
And none of them are important.
Okay, so they portray his character as this head of this creepy leader of the zoo-based sex cult. So Doc describes
zoo-based sex.
That was my very own writing. Are you proud of it?
I might join that.
I came up with that term. So Doc describes his staff of skin-tight leather and animal print-clad ladies that have these like eerily similar plastered smiles on their face as a great big cohesive family. Sounds like something a cult leader would say.
Totally.
Now, you could take this as the description of how the cubs are raised, which is kind of how he tries to defend it. It's like, oh, no, like when we raise these cubs, we welcome them into our family, and our trainers are the leaders of those individual families, and they're the mothers of these cubs, right?
All right.
Yeah. And he has his son and his daughter both work there, and he describes like the animals as their brothers and sisters.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You following him on that? It's not a
Sure.
cult.
Okay. Their family.
So now you want to join the Tiger Sex Zoo cults or whatever
Sounds
I called
super
it.
fun.
Let me tell you what it takes to join the Tiger family, or what Doc refers to as the Ritz-Carlton of animal sanctuaries. So all staff members must complete an intensive apprenticeship. There's no formal education required, but recruits must be single and childless.
I'm out.
Sorry, you can't join.
I'm the first
I guess
thing.
it's just me. They cannot expect any time off for any reason.
Well, I'm out again. Done.
They must be within 20 pounds of their perfect athletic weight or working to get there.
Oh, fuck that. Quarantine weight, baby.
Ah, shit. I just bumped the mic. They must be able to do push-ups, pull-ups, and run a 12-minute mile.
Okay.
They must be vegetarian and can't smoke or drink. I'm out.
Oh.
They also must submit a photo.
Oh,
But-
interesting.
yeah.
It's like an audition.
It totally is. Most of all, they must commit to the tiger way of life. It's not just a workplace, it is a lifestyle. They must watch Devil Wears Prada and Kill Bill 2 to get an idea of what to expect.
What?
Have you watched either of those movies?
No.
Because I don't really know what that. I know that like Devil Wears Prada,
I thought that was a comedy.
I don't know.
Right, with like Anne Hathaway? Isn't Anne
I have
and
no
Glenn
idea.
Close? I feel like they're in it. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like they're in it. And Kill Bill 2. I saw Kill Bill 1.
I did too. I didn't see the second one though. I don't know what that means. Did they do some crazy intensive training? I assume
that doesn't
so.
even make sense.
None of it makes sense, Rosa.
Well,
None of it
okay.
makes sense.
Well, yeah. But in the Devil Wears Prada, like the boss was a total bitch.
I know that. That's like all I know
So
about it.
maybe that's what he's referring
guess.
to. He's going to treat his employees like shit.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of assumed.
Okay. All right. I have no idea. All
Moving on. All right. So, say you're in. You want to do this. Here's what you get. You are provided with room and board, access to the internet and cable, and $100 of a weekly stipend.
Oh, well, isn't he generous?
And I will say, okay, to play devil's advocate, there's a lot of internships that pay you nothing or next to nothing, especially ones that involve working with animals.
No, I agree.
Because it's competitive and
Everyone wants to do it.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I'm gonna try as much as I can to defend him, just to give like both sides of the story. All right. So you are an apprentice for 2 years, where you work intensively with the animals and have little to no free time. They're housed in converted horse stalls or trailers while living on the compound.
Oh, that's not pleasant.
Well, I don't know. I lived in a trailer.
A horse trailer?
No. A horse stall. A converted horse stall. Like converted into, I would imagine like a dorm room sort of thing. Not a horse trailer.
I was thinking a horse trailer. Like those are not big.
Well, they can be. There's some freaking huge horse trailers.
Well,
but
okay.
I'm sure it's not those.
Like I'm thinking like a 2-stall horse trailer. Like you're going to sleep on one side and I'm going to sleep on the other side.
Well, they did share these with other trainers. So, I mean, it's not glamorous by any means. Employees have been said to work long hours and they're often sleep deprived, which is not great when you're working with giant ass animals who have like knives for hands.
No, but when you are trying to brainwash people, it's a really good thing.
Oh, okay. All right, you're checking the boxes. Okay. So allegedly socializing outside of the compound is discouraged, but it's like never like outrightly said. So, as we mentioned earlier, Doc has some physical requirements for his employees, which could be explained. Like you could say, okay, you need to be able to run, you need to be able to be strong enough to do the push-ups and pull-ups to work with these giant animals. Really strange that it seems like majority of the employees, if not all of them, are women. So,
and they all had to submit photos.
You would think that if he was really concerned about like, okay, I want somebody big and strong, he would have gone Joe Exotic's route of like hiring college-age guys
that can lift an entire tiger over their head.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where these little petite girls...
I'm not saying they're not strong. They're probably super strong.
No,
but it's just weird that the ratio seems to be, 99% women. That being said, I already said that. Never mind. However, the only young man that we see on the series is Cody, which is his son. I also checked out the YouTube channel just to see if, like, okay, Doc's saying a lot of this stuff is really cherry picked by Netflix of like what they were going to show, or not Netflix, but whoever made the film.
I think it was Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I went on the YouTube channel and it's like the same thing. It's like all women in bikinis or like shorts or all those sexy outfits. And then the only men they show that I was able to find anyway is Cody, and then whatever celebrities happen to visit and do a little like shout out.
I wonder why Cody doesn't have a weird name.
It's Cody with a K, if that makes it any more unique.
Little.
Kind of like, to go along with Kevin. Okay. So later in the documentary, we're introduced to Barbara Fisher, a former employee who went by the name of Bala when she was working for Doc.
Yes, I remember
her.
Mm-hmm.
She was there from 1999 to 2007, and she spills the tea. Barbara did an interview with Elle magazine, and in that interview, she stated that like she found out about this entire thing by going to Doc's website when she was actually looking up yoga stuff. She wasn't even looking for the tiger thing, and she was super intrigued by the idea of working with the tigers, and so she went ahead and applied for the apprenticeship and sent her picture and whatnot. And she said she like barely even graduated high school, and she had no experience working with like any animals other than her dog or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she arrives to the compound. And she shows up. There's like a bunch of these beautiful women in their scantily clad leopard or whatever.
Wasn't she super young?
She was 19.
Okay.
19 years old. They're walking the tigers around on leashes. She goes into the office. She meets Doc. She's sitting down, hearing about what she's going to do there. This chick walks in and sits in his lap.
That's super professional.
Red flag number 12. Okay, she said she was too naive at the time to pick up on this, which I get because I don't know. I feel like we've all been in weird situations where you don't realize until way later and you're like, holy shit, that was not okay.
I told you about I think I may have even mentioned it on the podcast when I was going to get free dance lessons.
No, you didn't.
I didn't? You know this.
Okay,
so I was super into dance in high school. Like I loved it. I loved dance. And I was going to be graduating high school soon, and I was going to get a job. And so I'm looking in the classifieds, and there's this ad that comes up that says dancers needed, will train. I'm like, score. I can like get super cool choreography lessons for free, and I'll make money at it. So I call the number, and the guy I talked to on the phone, he's asking me, questions like, do I have any experience? And what do I look like? What are my measurements? And I still have no clue yet. I'm thinking like, oh, maybe it's for the costumes or whatever.
Yeah, when you're going to be in Smash Mouth's new music video.
Right. Totally Smash Mouth. And then he goes, well, do you live at home still, or are you out on your own? I go, oh, no, I live at home. And then he says, well, do you think you can get out of the house without your parents knowing? And I was like, oh, this is weird. But it took me that long in the phone interview to figure it out.
That it was for
some nudie club. Yeah. So luckily I didn't actually go and get an audition. But yeah.
It would have been awkward. Oh my God, I love that story. It's so good.
Keep going.
Okay. All right. So she so Barbara, she was housed in one of the horse stalls, and she worked long hours for little pay. However, she loved the bond that she developed with the cubs, and she loved the opportunity to work with like these such amazing, unique animals that most people never get to touch in their entire lives. So the environment was very competitive. She found out that Doc had his apprentices as sexual partners so that they could be more bonded with him in some way. And he especially liked when they were virgins.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Ew.
So the first day that Doc led her to the horse stall, she was instantly filled with regret. But she had no car. She had no family nearby. She hardly had any money, and she felt like she had no place to go.
She was trapped.
Yeah, basically. She also tells about the breast implants on Tiger King.
That's right.
It was super weird, and she almost sounds like she was drugged, but she doesn't say that. I think maybe it was just the sleep deprivation. To keep up with the appearances that was desired from her and all the other girls, she went ahead and agreed to this breast augmentation surgery, even though she wasn't like 100% into it. She just kind of felt pressured.
And he paid for it all.
Oh, yeah. And she was able to get a few days off of work to recover. And that was like the most enticing thing to her. At least that's the way she made it seem. And apparently he wanted the women, obviously, they're all dressed alike. They all have like the same matching makeup and hairstyles, and they all have like this theme going on, and they're constantly just plastered smile. And he always says it's like, oh, it's to draw people in. It's to like, get the attention. It's like, You have a fucking elephant.
Uh-huh.
Why do you need boobs to draw somebody in?
Yeah.
You have giant ass tigers and you can let people pet cubs. I'm pretty sure that's not for the customers.
No, the boobs are going to get in the way, if anything.
Yeah. Okay. So Barbara, like the other girls, changed her name. And she changed it to the name that was given to them by Doc. After all, that's what all the other girls were doing. So Michelle changed her name to China. And she arrived at the compound when she was 17. And she's been there for like 20 years. Meredith became Makasha. And she had been there since she was 16 years old. Renee became Rahani. And I don't know how old she was exactly. I couldn't find it. But she had been there for 16 years. And when they show her on the documentary, she doesn't look all that old.
Does he ever kick them out for
No.
like at a certain age? Like the one chick you said who's been there for 20 years? So she'd be like almost 40 now.
Uh-huh.
So she's still allowed to stay?
Yeah. No, and she's like running the thing.
Mm-hmm.
China's like in charge of, I think I put it somewhere, like she's in charge of like all of the cats.
So she's like the mama now.
Yeah, and then one of the other chicks is like in charge of all of the apes and monkeys and stuff. And they're like, they have high up positions in the company now, which is kind of the incentive.
Are they still living in horse stables?
No, they have their own houses.
Oh.
Remember, there was a scene where he's driving along in a golf cart and he's pointing out and he's like, oh, that's my girl China there. And that's
so they
whatever
all live
her
on
name
the
is.
compound, but they have their own.
They have their own houses.
Weird.
Super weird.
Okay.
So you could say like a lot of jobs have that, like where they put on a stage name, you know, especially if you're in a performance job, like if you work at Disneyland or whatever, and you're like,
totally.
I play Tinkerbell. Oh, I keep hitting the damn microphone.
We're in different spots tonight.
I know,
so maybe
it's
that's why.
screwing with my head. But they all had their names legally changed.
Oh, that's weird.
So it's almost like they're having their old identity kind of
Removed.
wiped away, which I thought was really strange.
Do you think, or do you know if they kept their last names? Or did they take his last name?
I assume they kept their last names. Yeah. Nothing indicated that they didn't.
Okay.
So, so far, everything I've told you is more like just detailed versions of what you saw in Tiger King itself. But let me tell you a little bit more about what I found on the interwebs. Barbara was the only woman that I could find who was actually confirmed to have worked for Doc and has come forward with these culty accusations. However, there are some anonymous claims on Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to take that with a grain of salt. Like, there's a lot of bullshitters on Reddit who say stuff to get attention or whatever.
Oh, especially after Tiger King came out.
Yeah. So let me read this to you, and you can take it or leave it, but this is the only other accusation I could find. And this is made by Reddit Throwaway Count. I was an apprentice at Tigers and worked with Bala, aka Barbara. Everything she said is totally true. We worked so hard that you didn't even know which way was up. When you were done for the day, you were exhausted. When I came to my first interview with Doc, I'll never forget that he said we couldn't date each other because it was dangerous, but he did encourage casual sex. I was 17 at the time. We did make $100 a week, and you had to go with him to get it, like a father figure. Like, I assume that means, like, you had to go ask him.
Okay.
Okay.
Like an allowance.
Yeah. All of this was before the big TV show or anything, and we lived in little trailers. I remember once I had to leave to get my hair dyed, and I went to a person that did all of the girls' hair, and it was taking a really long time. They started calling the lady who was doing my hair and asking if I was really still there. While there was a lot of respect for the animals, I truly believe that everyone really thinks that they were doing a positive thing. The animals were fed and cared for as good as it can be for any animal in captivity, raised for entertainment for the public. But once I left, I could see from the outside that it was definitely a cult. So what do you think about that?
She doesn't give a whole lot of information that we didn't see on Tiger King other than the hair dyeing story.
Yeah.
Which even in that in itself, I would almost think that he would bring in someone to do their hair.
Well, I don't know if it was brought in, but like they're just calling to make sure, hey, is she still there?
Well, didn't it say that she left to go get her hair done?
Oh, okay, maybe.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Oh, I mean, I'm totally interpreting that my way.
But that also could be like, hey, you have a shift to get back to. Hey, we can't get a hold of you. Can you call the hair place, see if she's still there?
She's still getting her hair done?
Yeah. So I don't know. The one thing that I took away is I would imagine that somebody who were going after Doc and wanted to make him sound bad and make up shit, they would say that the animals weren't being treated well.
Mm-hmm.
And this person is saying, yeah, they were treated fine.
Right.
So I don't know. Could be real. Could be bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Moving on. So Barbara shared, okay. Sorry, I lost my spot. So everything that Barbara had basically was being controlled by Doc at this point. He controlled her name, her clothing, her hair, her makeup, even her boobs. And she was free to leave at any time. She made that very clear. But if she were to leave, there was definitely like a sense of like a disrespect. Like you're not as dedicated as all of the other employees. So even though she was allowed to leave, she wasn't like really allowed to leave because she would kind of lose her ranking in the whole status of everything going on there. So what I don't think they said on Tiger King is how she did leave. So her grandmother passed away and she did leave the compound to go to the funeral.
Okay.
So she goes to the funeral, she reconnects with like her high school boyfriend and kind of like is with him for a bit. And when she comes back, she finds out that she's pregnant. And then once she has this like other being.
Well, then she's kicked out of the cult.
Oh, no, I mean, I don't think she got kicked out, but she decided to leave after that for good.
Mm-hmm.
And even so, like, she was still super, like, in love with the whole idea and the people there, and she had so much respect for Doc. And after she had her baby, Doc was actually one of the first people she called to tell him about it. Which is kind of interesting. But then Rolling Stone did this like huge article about him and everything going on there and just like and they told both sides. They showed the good and the bad. But when she read that, she kind of had this outsider's perspective of looking in and she was like, oh shit.
I was part of that.
I was part of that. And like there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
Huh.
So it was kind of interesting. She talks about how even today she's going through like a ton of therapy and she can't do yoga anymore because it's like too much associated with that life and it freaks her out.
Wow.
Crazy, right? Okay. And like I said, she's the only one formally making this accusation, but I believe her. I don't think she's lying.
Well, I don't think it's just, what does she have to gain?
Exactly. She doesn't have anything to gain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's not getting anything out of it. She didn't get paid for it apparently. Like she's not getting anything. So now let's hear Doc's side of the story. So first, he denies any kind of animal abuse or illegal euthanasia of the cubs. So remember how we were talking about the 15 babies a year?
Mm-hmm.
So he claims that they spend the rest of their days on the compound. Almost every tiger or liger or lion that's born there, it lives there. It lives out its days at the compound, unless a select few get sold or like traded with partners, is what he says.
Okay.
So if that's true, let's do some tiger math. So each tiger, their lifespan is around like 15 to 20 years. So say they live 15 years.
Okay.
And he gets 15 new tigers every year.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time that first tiger dies, he would have 225 new tigers.
Okay.
That's not adding up. That's way too many tigers.
To have. And doesn't he do 2 litters?
Yeah.
So wouldn't that be 220?
No, it's like 15 total, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm being on the conservative side.
Okay. So either way, 225, yeah.
I call bullshit. There's something happening.
He's selling them on the black market.
That's what I think.
To celebrities or rich people.
And a lot of people are saying like it's too much for him to handle and like he just euthanizes them once they get, because they can do pet-ins according to Tiger King, which may not be accurate, between the ages of 8 weeks and 12 weeks. And after that, they're too big.
Because they're dangerous to the
guess
public? So these are being sold at 12 weeks?
Or maybe they just keep them there for a while and then sell them. I don't know. It's really weird. But let's get back to culty stuff. So he's really vague about where they're going, and he's not saying that he's killing them, but he isn't really clear. He has to maintain some sort of genetic diversity in the breeding program, so he can't really keep that many, I wouldn't think.
No, because then they'll be all inbred.
Right. So there's that one weird, crazy thing. The show claims that he took a number of his apprentices as wives, and he denies that. He claims he doesn't have any wives, and he was married, but his wife passed away 25 years ago in a car accident.
Is that Cody's mom?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which, legally he may not have wives, but it could be a not legal thing.
Well, isn't that like what sister wives, like, you know?
Yeah, I don't think they're all legally married.
Yeah.
So he says he has a few girlfriends, and they certainly know about each other, but he by no means is married to anybody. And he doesn't have a harem or a cult like they're suggesting. He says that the women featured in Tiger King actually are his son's girlfriend, his granddaughter, his daughter, and they're like friends and significant others.
His family.
His family.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Doc told Oxygen that he regarded Fisher's words as the rambling of a crazy child who has a lot of, in my opinion, issues, and somehow those have boiled up, denying her version of the events.
Well, that's not very nice.
No. And she's like, okay, if she graduated in 1999, she's like 39 or 40, right?
Right around there. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, calling her a child is pretty messed up. If there were any truths to that claim, it would highlight the systematic abuse of power. And this is a quote from Oxygen, and I think it kind of sums it up pretty well. So, while we can't talk for these women, the patterns of control, dependency, and monitoring of movements, in this case through appearance, daily routine, or even sexual encounters, raises the possibility of coercive control and psychological manipulation. We should state at this point that polyamorous relationships are, of course, not inherently bad, providing all parties are consensual and there's no unfair power dynamics at play. And I think that pretty well sums it up, right? Like,
if you're a willing party, then great, go for it.
and the thing is, he has freaking tigers. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who would be down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why he would need to manipulate teenagers to get to that.
Well, and when you were reading that quote about him calling her a child.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he was sleeping with said child 20 plus years ago.
And even though he doesn't admit to it.
So
But-
that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Bizarre.
that is my story about the Tiger King cult. And it was meant to be fun and lighthearted, but I don't know. Once you take away the flower crown and bleached mullet, it's just kind of sad.
Well, it's interesting because my cult is very similar to yours.
Oh, okay.
Like crazy similar. So I'm going to let you finish.
Okay, I have just a little bit more. And I totally agree. I'm like, if you want to have multiple girlfriends, multiple boyfriends, if you want to have
be it.
a brother-husband trio like Joe Exotic, I mean, have at it.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about
Like,
that.
that's fine. But don't, like, manipulate teenagers into that sort of situation. Because the way I look at it, too, it's kind of like, what was the name of that Playboy show? Girls Next Door.
Uh-huh. Oh, Hugh Hefner
had all of his girlfriends there.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it wasn't any secret that they were all in a relationship together.
They lived in the same home.
And they got many benefits out of the situation.
Totally.
But it was all consensual.
And they could leave when they wanted.
Right. And I'm not saying that Barbara wasn't consenting, but it was definitely very pressured, and I don't even know. It's like a weird gray area because are you really consenting at the? I don't know.
Well,
I
I think she felt trapped.
Right. Yeah.
Is the problem there.
Yep. Exactly. So that's the dark side of Tiger King. At least one of the many, many dark sides. But just to be fair, I'm going to give you, this is kind of like my ripple. These are a few things that happened at Doc's compound after, a little bit before, a little bit after, like a little bit mix of things behind the scenes. So first, Doc was the founder of the Rare Species Fund, which is a local ground level organization in support of global wildlife conservation. And he allocates resources to aid grassroots and worldwide conservation efforts. So that's great. It's very vague.
Uh-huh.
I don't know exactly what that means.
And how much is going where.
Right. In 2011, the organization helped forge a partnership with the U.S. Postal Service and produced the Save Vanishing Species stamps. Remember when those were out?
No, but that's cool.
Yeah. So they had a tiger stamp that went around, and all the proceeds of that stamp went to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, who in turn allocated funding to various animal conservation projects. In addition to tigers and other big cats, the effort helps protect rhinos, great apes, marine turtles, and elephants from Africa and Asia, and the stamp is still circulating today.
That's super cool.
Super cool. The organization also helped forge a partnership with the U.S. Oh, I already said that, Postal Service. And there was another thing on here. Oh, here it is. So he also spearheaded the Victoria Falls Anti-Poaching Unit, a measure to protect wildlife from hunters in Zimbabwe, in addition to the Conservation Through Public Health initiative in Uganda. It uses technology to help endangered chimps.
I love that. That's my favorite right there.
So then here's the bad side.
Oh.
Okay. Doc was found... Oh, in 1991, the United States Department of Agriculture hit Doc with a $3,500 fine for violating the Animal Welfare Act. I don't know what that involves. It could have been like something pretty benign. It could have been something pretty serious. I don't know the details.
It doesn't.
Yeah. In 2005, Doc was restricted by the USDA of holding public petting events after a cub, after poor barriers and boundaries were discovered. In 2019, the Myrtle Beach compound was raided, but they found no proof of guilt, so they couldn't find anything wrong. PETA was leading an animal rights group which had repeatedly called for him to meet failing proper safety standards.
None of those are big red flags to me.
No, me neither. Like PETA is going to call regardless.
Right.
Like as long as there's tigers there, PETA is going to be upset about it. Yeah, so.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Sorry that wasn't more exciting. I wanted it to be.
I was super into it. I was into it. That was crazy.
It wasn't nearly as fun as I had hoped.
It's all right. Cults aren't always fun in games.
Yeah. Well, maybe yours will have a little bit more happy fun times.
Well, I have a special drink.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with that.
Okay.
I'm going to have you pour this into those cups there.
Okay. You're giving me a purpley liquid.
Yes.
It looks kind of thick.
It's pretty, right?
Viscous.
Ew, that's a gross word.
Mm-hmm. How much of this?
Sure.
Okay. I'm pouring all of it.
All right. And then I have some pink cranberry LaCroix.
Yum.
So dish that out.
You're not going to tell me what this purple liquid is?
Oh, it's just juice.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
With alcohol in it?
Nope. Here's the alcohol. I've got just vodka for you, baby.
This isn't Flavor Aid, is it?
I don't know what that... Oops, sorry. I don't know what that is. What's Flavor Aid? Like Kool-Aid?
Like Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
Like Jamestown?
No. Oh, no, it's not. I'm not making you drink the Kool-Aid. And then you're making that super pretty pink purple drink. You need a purple pink twisty straw to drink it with.
Okay.
Do you want purple or pink?
I grabbed purple, so I'll go with purple.
Okay, so mix it up.
Oh, God.
So you have a crazy straw.
Uh-huh.
And then as the teacher in me, I'm going to put my costume on.
You probably shouldn't tell people that on this podcast.
I mean, I'm not a teacher.
Oh, fun.
Do you want some? So
go ahead.
These are purple rhinestones. I'm putting 3 on my forehead.
Is purple a very important color to this cult?
It is. I mean, not necessarily purple, but just pretty colors.
Just pretty colors.
And then I have some glitter that I'm sparkling myself. Come here. Come here. You got to be in my cult.
You were right on my eyes. I'm glad I had my eyes closed.
Purple.
Put it all over my eyelid now.
Glitter. Super pretty.
Trying to blind me.
And then I'm going to put a little of this on here.
Oh, you're getting big glitters now. I have the shimmery pixie glitter all over me, and now you're putting big glitters all over your...
Here.
Do I have to put that on?
Yep. You have to be pretty.
Oh, God.
It's all about being pretty. And then I'm going to put this on over my headphones.
Oh, you're a unicorn.
I totally am a unicorn.
This is a unicorn cult?
A unicorn cult.
Oh, I'm glad because that Tiger King thing really brought me down.
Okay, so you're drinking the most beautiful purpley pinky drink you can drink. You're all sparkly and shiny. Wait, can I have my drink?
Oh,
Can you hand it to me?
I
I know we're
try.
like super awkward positions
Yeah,
tonight.
we are.
Cool, thanks. And then, so yeah, I'm gonna tell you about the unicorn cult.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
It was way better than the zoo sex cult.
Well, you don't know yet. Do you know of the unicorn cult?
Well,
You're gonna find out. So, oh, you didn't give your sources, but we'll put those in show notes.
okay.
It's okay.
I just threw my straw across the room.
So, Shafiqul Islam Udin.
Woo!
Was it yummy?
Oh, the vodka was floating on the top.
He was born into a devout Bangladeshi Muslim household.
Okay.
In his words, it was very strict and sexually repressed.
Oh.
He felt shame about his desire for touch and sex. He left that world early on, he says. He decided to reinvent himself and create a happier person.
Oh, I like it.
So through that desire, he also participated in a lot of self-destructive behaviors. So for over 2 decades, he abused alcohol. So cheers to your drink.
Okay.
And drugs. And he also became, at one point, a professional breakdancer.
Fun.
Super rad. And the combination of his Muslim name being difficult for his friends to say, which was that Shafiqul.
I'm sure you nailed it.
Yeah. And then his breakdancing style, which was kind of like 70s breakdancing, I guess. He was given the nickname Shaft from that 1971 film, Shaft.
Sure, that one.
Shaft. And then
Do you really know that?
I know the song. I've never seen the movie, but
Oh,
I know
never
the
heard
song
of it before in my life.
But that's been his name ever since. So kind of similar to Doc.
Yeah.
He was, had a hard name that people couldn't pronounce.
Kevin.
Super hard to say. So this guy goes as Shaft, which is also kind of like a shaft.
Like the shaft that's growing in my front yard right now.
The swollen shaft. So this is a quote that says, I am Shaft Udin, a yoni whisperer, tantric practitioner, international transformation facilitator, and sacred sexuality coach. I've spent years learning from the best tantric masters, teaching, researching the science of human sexuality and relationship dynamics to create the highest level trainings available.
That is quite the description.
He's also a unicorn. And
Yay.
his goal is to create a free love utopia. So Shaft started his unicorn cult in 2011 after he attended a Burning Man festival.
Of course.
So I was just going to ask you if you know what Burning Man is. I have friends that have gone to Burning Man, and they're the stereotypical, like, Burning Man people. They're super,
I could never.
free love. They're very, like, here's a pill, take it.
Oh, fun times. Let's see what this one does.
Right. I mean, it looks crazy. Like, people that go, it would stress you out too much.
I would be the person hiding in the outhouse, if they even have outhouses.
No, I don't think they do.
Curled up in a fetal position. Crying, paranoid that the police were around, like, every single corner, and hoping that nobody touches me.
No, there's a lot of touching going on at Burning Man's. So he attended this Burning Man festival, and during that time, he got a vision that he was a unicorn god. And he then created himself as this born-again unicorn.
I wish I was that cool.
Oh, he became...
Am I going to regret that right away?
No, well, we'll see. He began traveling the world and being, as in his words again, fabulous as a unicorn. But obviously cults, they need followers.
Yeah, that's
And
usually
if
requirement.
he's traveling the world by himself, he needs to have some people with him.
Unicorns need a herd.
They do.
They're herd animals. They're
They
very
are.
social creatures.
They absolutely. So enter Sammy or Sammycorn, who is considered a pureblood. She is also, her side job is a kids entertainer.
That seems perfect.
Yeah, she's super colorful. There's Amy, who does like the Comic-Con circuit, dressed as a unicorn.
Perfect.
There's Miles. He's known as Magicorn, and he's a professional party promoter and DJ.
Okay.
And then there's
enough.
Emma, who at the time of this, like the beginning of this documentary, was Shaft's like main unicorn. So Emma and Shaft met at a festival, and Shaft had a dream about her the first night they met, and then he had another dream about her, and then they just had, quote, full intercourse.
Well,
you know, and then there were a bunch of other unicorns that the documentary kind of goes over, but those were kind of the main ones. There's one other one that I'm going to talk about in a bit. But it talks about like Shaft. He was a super successful freelance art director for a really big TV network. And he said that the reason he was a freelance art director was because you can't catch a unicorn. So he didn't want to be tied down to the corporate world. But he was pretty successful, I'm assuming, because, I mean, he has quite a bit of money, and it kind of gets into that. I mean,
does it say what big TV network? I mean, if he's freelance, he probably worked for a few, yeah?
Well, in his words, it was one of the biggest TV networks on the planet. And this is in the UK.
Oh.
So maybe
I don't know.
the BBC? Is that UK? Am I totally mixing up my accents?
Are they public or no?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
I guess
It didn't say. It didn't.
Okay. I have no idea.
So, all these unicorns, they're all covered in sparkles and glitter. They wear bright colors, tons of jewelry and makeup. And then each one wears this like super beautiful, elaborate horn. And they go out in groups, and they go to raves, and they walk the streets of London, and people go by and they take pictures of them.
Do they gallop?
At some points
Do
they
trot?
do. They go like with their front hands kind of like
That's so
they have
great.
tails.
Oh. How do the tails stay on?
I think on their belt loop.
Okay.
I mean, it's
I
not
was
like a
thinking
butt plug.
That's kind of what I was going with.
I've seen those. But yeah, there's people like on the subways taking their pictures, and then there's also people in the subway that are just looking at them like, oh my God, this person better not sit down next to me.
I would be that person. Although I can appreciate their free spiritness, I am definitely way too uptight to
creeped out about them.
Yeah, I would be like, okay, I'm getting off at the next stop and out of the unicorn car.
Yeah, and there's people, like there's this one point where the one unicorn, the kid entertainer one, I forget her name right now, but she's like got like a pink bunny, like a real bunny as a pet.
Oh, okay, I don't like them anymore.
And she's getting in this little rowboat, and like she's putting all her stuff in the boat, and these people walking by, you can see the camera, and the people walking by go, oh my God, there's all these weirdos out today. So they definitely are looked at by a lot of people as being strange. But their goal is to share love. And they all practice a polyamorous lifestyle.
Okay. That seems to be a common trend among cults.
It does. Again, Shaft is the main male. There's
that seems an appropriate name for the main male.
Shaft. There's Miles. They don't necessarily say his sexuality in the documentary, but he's, I think, leaning more towards a homosexual lifestyle. There's, I mean, tons and tons of women. And
there's more than just the ones that you...
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Okay.
But those are the ones they focus on. And they all kind of have the same feeling, like the world is just trying to tear people down, and it's just their way of being happy. And a lot of them live in the Unicorn headquarters, which is in North London, UK, and Shaft, I think, is the owner of this house.
Okay, I was just going to ask what it was.
Yeah, it's a home. It kind of looks like, you know, in San Francisco, those like multi-level homes that are real tall and skinny.
Uh-huh.
It kind of looks like that. I don't know what they would call that.
They should head over to Doc's compound where they can all live in horse stalls.
And they would love that.
That would be perfect for them.
Makes total sense. And they're all, I mean, beautiful. They're beautiful people.
Beautiful ponies.
They are. And Shaft was saying how most of the unicorns have had or currently have some sort of an addiction, kind of like what he struggled with. And
I would imagine you have to be on a lot of drugs to join the unicorn cult. So that kind of tracks.
well, and a lot of like psychedelic drugs, I think too. And they want to try to just recreate what happened at the burns that he attended, because he like went on like a Burning Man circuit, just like traveled with Burning Man.
Sorry.
And so
I just inhaled my drink. Sorry.
in his unicorn headquarters, that was kind of his goal, is to recreate the feeling that these burns created.
That sounds exhausting. Like, I can't imagine somebody does more than one Burning Man type festival in a year. And this guy's doing the circuit.
He did, I didn't even know there was a circuit.
I didn't either.
But according to Shaft, there's 10 principles of unicornia.
Oh, geez.
And I'm just going to read you 6.
Okay.
And tell
I was
me
going to say 10's a lot.
how vague these are.
Okay.
But always be fabulous to one another, and the unforced will deliver.
The what?
Unforced?
What does that mean?
I don't really know.
Okay. Let's go with it.
Might be a typo, but maybe not. When you shine, you enable others to shine around you.
Okay.
If you love everyone, there will be more love in the world.
Okay, right.
You can't cage a unicorn. They are a symbol of freedom.
Okay.
A unicorn is never late, nor never on time.
What the fuck does that mean?
And then the last one is never be afraid of change.
Does the unicorn just not show up at all?
It shows up when it wants to.
Oh, okay.
So for 6 months, this unicorn cult, grew super fast. And then they had like various offshoots of unicorns. So there's the ones I kind of mentioned at the beginning that were the true bloods or the pure bloods. And they also had warrior corns and then glamour corns. And the glamour corns are super, super elaborate. Like, I almost spilled my drink. They have like fancy things in their hair, and they have their entire makeup is like a photo shoot every single day.
Like they're ready to go to the unicorn horse show.
Yeah, they're like
braided manes and tails.
Yeah, exactly.
The ribbons and the bows.
They're like in the breed ring.
Is that a thing?
In dogs, it is. I don't know if it's in horses.
Oh, well, a unicorn's not even a horse, though. I guess we shouldn't be calling them horses. It's probably offensive.
Probably. So this one glamour corn, her name is Lauren, and she talks about her serious relationship that she had with a lamp.
Wait, what?
Uh-huh. And it was like a super deep relationship. They had this connection, and it was a source of light.
Well, that's a thing. That's true, Lauren. It is a source of light.
It was making her and all of her friends look so good with the light it was emitting, but no one was shining light on it.
Oh,
but it
really
didn't
sad.
care.
Oh,
It didn't. It just wanted to light
that's
up
really
others.
enlightening.
Stupid. So, yeah, she's like super into this, telling the story about her lamp.
Okay. No more drugs for Lauren.
Well, no, Lauren, the Glamicorn, she also gave a tour of her room at the unicorn headquarters.
Yeah.
And it was decorated in all these butterflies, and there's like pink and sparkles and fluffy stuff hanging all over the ceiling. And she considers herself an artist. And her favorite thing to create is self-portraits.
Okay.
And then one of the pieces that she showed was entitled Sucking in Space.
Sucking in Space.
Uh-huh. And it's like a picture of like space. Like, so there's black with stars and planets. And then it's her face.
Okay.
Sucking a gigantic penis.
Oh, see, I was just going to ask, sucking in space, does that mean that you are bringing the space in, or does that mean you're literally in space and sucking? And you just answered that question for me, so thank you.
It's a
much clearer picture now.
It's an intergalactic penis that she imagined would be like super huge and wiggly worm-like, and then it came
worm-like
out of a black hole.
Oh.
And then she also showed a picture of her vag art, and it was like this fuzzy. It was like a tactile art piece.
Oh,
So the outer portion was like kind of fuzzy, and there were
those
pearls,
kids' books where it's the
like a touch and
tell.
feel.
Oh,
Totally. So
Okay.
yeah,
it's a good one. I mean, you
she's-
should probably bring that into your teaching.
yeah, anatomy class.
Yep.
So somehow there was money coming into the unicorn cult.
Okay, somehow.
I'm
Just
not
somehow.
entirely sure if people were making donations,
Maybe
if they were selling the
badge
artwork.
art.
It's possible. But according to Shaft, anything 50 pounds, which is like around $40 in US money.
Okay.
And over, he said, goes to ourselves. And he referred to the group.
Okay.
And then he said anything below 50 goes to the Unikitty, which
The fuck is that?
it buys all the glitter in their toys.
Oh.
So,
So it depends on the individual donation.
right. So,
where it, okay, that seems
bizarre.
not logical at all, but all
No.
right. Neither does dressing up like a unicorn, but okay.
Yeah. So, at their 6-month review, Shaft also announced that he had given up alcohol. He was like clean from alcohol,
Uh-huh.
but he continued his drug use, saying that he just had something wrong with him and he couldn't connect with people without the drugs.
Oh, that's a
And
bummer.
one of his favorite drugs to use was ketamine. Are you familiar with
Ketamine?
Ketamine.
Isn't that the tranquilizer?
Yeah, it's also like used for animals a
Yeah,
lot.
it's an animal tranquilizer.
And he, you can either inject it or drink it or snort it. I mean, you could do pretty much anything
Really?
with it.
I had no idea.
And it creates a dreamlike state,
Okay.
but it's also known as the date rape drug because
is it?
like if you take so much of it, you can't move. Like
Oh,
you're
fuck.
yeah.
Like locked in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you still you're still
Aware.
okay.
I think you're like in a dreamlike.
Oh,
I mean,
weird.
yeah, scary. But that was like one of his favorites. So Emma, the main Shaft unicorn girl,
main shaft?
they broke up and he got super depressed.
Oh.
He was like really sad about it, but even though all the other unicorns are like trying to comfort him, and he's like, I'm out. I'm just going to take off for a while. And he attends this like tantra retreat.
He's gonna go out to pasture.
And he comes back and he's wearing this skin tight, beautiful, short red dress.
Oh.
He's waving a fan.
Okay.
But he's still got his crazy like facial hair. He has like
I
this.
didn't know that he had this.
Oh yeah, I'll have to show you a picture. It's pretty amazing. He's got like one of those mustaches that come and like kind of like curl
the
up.
waxed
Yeah.
old timey barbershop mustache.
I mean, he looks amazing. He looks rad.
Okay.
And he said that he learned some really cool new techniques at this tantra retreat. And it turned him into Chiquita Squirt Miller, his inner feminine.
Oh, I like that.
Chiquita Squirt Miller?
That reminds me of Princess Consuela
Banana hammock?
Yeah.
Chiquita Squirt Miller. So
Okay.
while he was at his retreat, he took the drug ayahuasca, which is like kind of a Native American
Like a cactus, I
hallucinogen.
think.
And it gave him like visions that he was now a unicorn Jedi.
Oh, fuck.
So he hired this Jedi master to teach him the ways of the Jedi. And
Where do you find one of those? Craigslist?
he said he did like a Google search.
Oh, okay.
And this dude like came to his house with like big old
Lightsabers?
long sticks. Yeah. Shafts.
Oh, okay.
He also visited a female wizard at one point to help him connect to himself. So he's just trying all these different things to create his inner happiness again. He's like kind of like chasing that dragon, for lack of better words.
Chasing that rainbow?
Chasing that unicorn. I'm super uncomfortable. I keep moving.
Because you're in my chair and I'm in your chair this week.
It's not comfortable. But as like the unicorn revolution began to clash.
Wait, what?
Like the cult.
Okay, I thought they were having a revolution.
Well,
Like
they're their own revolution.
Okay.
It like their plans for the self-love utopia, it kind of just started getting too real for a lot of them, and their real life just wasn't being fulfilled anymore. So they were like struggling with, this is real, this is not,
Like,
and they're not being fulfilled.
so being a unicorn is so wonderful and amazing that now normal life is just so
Not
dull
worth it.
and
Mhm.
ugh, why can't I just be a unicorn all the time?
So a lot of the glampeed that they called themselves
It's really creative, actually. I like that.
just started to leave the unicorn world.
Aw.
And a lot like Shaft, he is just getting his heart broken left and right because people that he cared about are leaving him. And
So wait, when Shaft came back, was he a unicorn again, or was
he still was a
Okay,
unicorn.
He was still a unicorn.
But
all right.
he was
just a red dressed unicorn.
right.
Okay.
But he still considered himself like the unicorn Jedi.
Okay.
So this is the beginning of my ripple.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Shaft's website. I dropped my page, but I'll look up what his website is in a minute. And this is a quote. So Vice is the, I guess,
News source, or
Yeah.
if you want to call it that, like editorial.
they're the one that made the documentary about the unicorns.
Uh huh.
So he says, Vice calls me, quote, tantric sex guru, and Times Magazine calls me a male sexpert. I'm just a bit of a juicy geek who likes to learn through playfulness, and my passion just happens to be awakening the human body to its full potential. So this is what Shaft is doing now. He's known as a sex guru that massages yonis.
What is a yoni?
Well, if you're a Shaft and you're giving a massage to a yoni, what do you think a yoni is?
I don't know.
It's pretty much a vagina.
Oh, okay.
That's what he does now. He
Does vaginal massages?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He says that he was living a double life at one point that was just fueled by alcohol and drugs, and he was looking for the ultimate pleasure, and he was super self-indulged, but he wasn't happy, and then he just had a relationship after relationship, and he was just depressed. So he started to attend these different alternative therapies like meditation. He learned about plant medicine, and then, of course, Tantra. And then in under 2 years, quote, he was free of his addictions, and he had learned the power of self-love.
Oh,
He
okay.
switched, so his past addictions for drugs, alcohol, for pretty much new addictions, but, he thinks healthier ones. He traded his craving of sex for the needing to make beautiful love. He says, my own personal healing and learning has taught me how to connect with the divine, unite my inner masculine and feminine. So it was during a ISTA training, which I don't know what that stands for, something tantric. He was laying inside a lava cave shaped like a giant yoni.
Wait, what is happening right now?
That his life purpose became clear. He says, I am a conduit for awakening the goddess within you.
Oh, Jesus.
So, he says, where once my internal monologue was once self-hatred, my daily mantra is now, how can I serve? And he has like a million different classes and, things that he's taken, like orgasmic meditation and erotic tantra rituals and I'm burping. And
oh, man.
I don't know, just all these, lists and lists and lists of them. And
I
then
didn't realize there were so many classes.
he also is the co-founder of Cora Vida, which is a heart-inspired wellness center bringing sacred sexuality to Costa Rica. It's a conscious community that will be also launching in Thailand, Stockholm, and London. So he pretty much gives classes. You can do a 2-day retreat with him.
Uh-huh.
And he has them for males or for females
On how to massage a yoni.
on how to reach your inner love child.
Oh.
Pretty much.
What if you don't have an inner love child?
He might create one for you.
Okay.
So the one-on-one coaching, it's like I said, it's a 2-day retreat. There's a VIP package. And
VIP package.
and where is it?
Man, massaging vaginas for... Oh, is that him?
That's him.
Wait, go up. I want to see.
Hang on.
Oh, okay.
So the VIP package for women, it's, gives a description, how it's like a one month long workshop condensed.
Month long?
Well, no, it's
okay.
condensed into 2 days.
I was going to say, that is way too long.
But look at the very last bold sentence in the VIP package for women.
I also provide the boyfriend experience.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then the VIP package for men, he's like, this is a way for you to bond like in a brotherly way. Or if you're into it, you can be sexual. Like he can,
Wait. Why is there bonding in brotherly ways? Like who are they being brotherly with? Each other?
With each other. And he's going to teach these guys how to like give self-love to their goddess is what his thought is.
Okay.
And then,
something.
he has books so you can download his tutorials. But this is the way he's making his business now.
Well, I mean, he's definitely an entrepreneur. That's for sure.
Absolutely. He's a very attractive man. He's very fit. You can take his online course. This is on his sacredsexualawakening.com page. He's also on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, of course. I mean, you've got to hit all the marks.
But there's all his sessions. There's the twin goddess awakening. So, if there's two women and him.
Well, he has 2 hands. Or hooves.
But yeah, that's him right there with the unicorn. But he pretty much was able to open this sexual sacred awakening stuff because of the unicorn cult and the popularity that it created.
That's how he made his name. It all started with the vision at Burning Man.
So yeah, that's mine.
I wonder how lucrative this is. I mean, it could be like really, really something.
He charges for the VIP 2-day package. It includes your room and your board and all of your food. Okay. It was, I think, I looked it up. It was like 400 pounds.
I don't know. I have no idea what that means.
Which I think is less because 50 pounds equaled $40 US.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that math.
That conversion.
No. I want to see what his inspirational meme picture thing was. Scroll down. What was that?
Here. Yeah. They say the eyes are the gateway to the soul. I say the Yoniverse is the gateway of cosmic creation.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's got his marketing. I mean, because that was kind of his career in the whole art direction, publicity world. His stuff is pretty fancy.
Oh, jeez.
Tantric massage sessions.
Oh, yeah. There's a picture of a massage session going on that Rosa just scrolled to.
And she is not getting her back massaged.
Nope, definitely not. That is quite in the front.
You could book your tantric massage session today. So here. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. See the mustache?
Oh, he still has his curly mustache. Okay.
But yeah, you can go down some wormholes on this website. Oh, click here to read a vulnerable and courageous account of a session written by a client to see the true healing power of this work. Tantra is truth. Yeah.
Who's that celebrity that's all into tantrics? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, shoot. Now I need to look it up.
Hands-on session is 200 pounds. Oh, off if you buy the package. And there's 4 in the package. Yeah. When's your birthday? September?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You gonna send me there?
Yep.
I'll awaken my inner child.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
wow.
that's my story.
Yours was way more fun than mine. I appreciate that. That's a good way to end it.
Oh, I also wanted to tell you. So a unicorn, like if you look it up on Urban Dictionary, it's pretty much a woman who is willing to participate in threesomes with like a committed couple. And she pretty much like shows up, has sex, and leaves. Like there's no commitment, there's no payment. She's just there for her own enjoyment and to pleasure others. So that's kind of the unicorn. And then, you know, I'm on a Facebook page or a member of Unicorn Moms.
Yes, I was thinking that the entire time. Every time you said unicorn, I thought about your unicorn mom.
I'm an
cult.
original member of the Unicorn Moms Facebook page created by Maria Hunt, who
I don't know who that is.
Well, she went to Rio Mesa.
Oh, okay.
And the way it started was she posted on another Facebook page in search of a unicorn. And it was kind of a joke. Some people knew what the unicorn was. Some people were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you would write that. That is so distasteful, because she was joking. Like, I'm looking for
that's what it means?
Of a third partner.
I didn't realize that's what.
So she started the Unicorn Mom Facebook page, not looking for, a third partner.
It sure sounds like it.
But what a unicorn mom is like a mom that, like, a unicorn is so perfect and not real that there's no such thing as the perfect mom.
Okay.
Moms cuss, moms.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Moms drink, moms make mistakes, and we're all trying our best, but it's kind of unrealistic to be that unicorn. So we're all just going to be unicorn moms and just say fuck it together.
Hey,
So-
that goes back to our book club. That
Yeah,
fits perfectly.
But that's what the whole unicorn mom is about.
So I looked it up. It's Sting. Sting is the celebrity who's way into tantrics. I'm sure there's plenty
Oh.
of others, but that was the one that was like the first.
Okay, yeah, I
Out
hadn't
there.
heard that.
Yeah. The more you know.
There it is. All right, let's pick a theme for next week.
Oh, yeah. Is it your turn to pick? Yeah, it is.
Is it? I don't know.
Oh, let's see if I can
You picked cults.
I did.
All right, I will pick. How about acts of revenge?
Oh, I like it.
Okay, that better?
Yeah.
Acts of revenge.
Okay.
All right, so until next week, don't forget to be a fountain.
And not a drain.
Bye.
Bye.